for Dan Marino. He throws for 261 yards, becomes the second all-time yardage leader behind only Johnny Unitas. As the Dolphins come from behind to beat the Colts 22-21. Let's take you to Miami in the fourth quarter. The Dolphins trail 14-12. It's a two-point ball game. Dan Marino throwing out here to the bottom of the screen. Picked off by Ray Buchanan. Buchanan up the left sideline. Has to work his way to the end zone, which he does easily, 28 yards. The Colts now have a 21-12 lead. For Dan Marino, anytime you've got 4 or 5 minutes, you know that's enough time for Dan Marino. On this one later in the fourth quarter, Dan Marino for O.J. McDuffie. O.J. McDuffie with a great reception, bounces off a would-be tackler, 28-yard TD. The Dolphins get a field goal, beat the Colts 22-21. How about the Bengals? What a game in overtime, tied 17-17. That's Jeff Blake. Jeff Blake, folks, the rookie quarterback for the Bengals, to Darnay Scott in overtime. 76 yards. Darnay wanted to get it into the end zone. He got it to the 5. That sets up the game-winning field goal. The Bengals get their first win of the year, 20-17, as they upset Seattle. Meanwhile, how about the Browns' Leroy Horde? Is there anything that Leroy Horde can't do? He rushes for 123 yards. The Browns at 7-2 are their best start since 1965. You're looking at Mark Rippon in the fourth quarter, tied 3-3. It's third and goal at the 2. Mark Rippon rolls right, hits Leroy Horde at the 2. That's the game-winning touchdown. 2-yard TD as the Browns beat the Patriots 13-6. For the Patriots, there's no controlling Maurice Hurst, whose interference play had set up the touchdown. Tears of frustration as the Patriots lose their 4th in a row. Without Stan Humphries, the Chargers just can't find the end zone. First quarter with the Falcons, that's Falcons quarterback Jeff George. Talk about second effort. Watch Terrence Mathis. He stopped at the 6. He pulls away from one tackler. A second. He throws over a third. He plows past the 4th for a 9-yard touchdown. The Falcons over the Chargers 10-9. Terrence, you can do any celebration you want and nobody from the NFL is going to find you. Vikings Warren Moon throws for 420 yards and 3 TDs, 11 seconds to go in the game. The Vikings are trailing 20-14 against the Saints. Warren Moon will call on Kadri Ismail. Now Ismail makes the reception at the 5, then an excellent move behind Reginald Jones. The Vikings over the Saints, 21-20. Warren Moon, remember the Houston Oilers said that they didn't need him anymore, right? Well, the Steelers, Gary Anderson got 4 field goals, but they also sacked the Oilers quarterback Cody Carlson 6 times. And the Bears' Steve Walsh wins his 4th straight as a starter. The Buccaneers lose their 4th in a row. The hit of the day took place in the second quarter. Bears quarterback Steve Walsh will throw for Tom Waddle. Tom Waddle, over the middle, is devastated by Thomas Everett. Yellow flag, one comes in, good for 15-yard penalty, but Tom Waddle suffers a concussion. Will there be a fine coming? Buccaneers fans with bags head as the Bucs fall to the Bears 20-6, and meanwhile the Rams' Chris Chandler, a pair of touchdowns. The juggler of the day in L.A. You don't want to make a mistake. Your mom never tell you you're not supposed to play with fire. Third quarter of the game. The Rams lead 17-3. Chris Chandler throwing for Willie Flipper Anderson, who works it into the end zone for a 30-yard touchdown. The Rams over the Broncos 37-21 despite a John Elway rally. Hey, at the New York Marathon today, what a bizarre race. Let's take you up to New York. This was a beautiful sight of some 28,000 runners starting the Verrazano Bridge. 28,000 marathoners starting the 25th annual marathon. Here's the bizarre part of this. This is really hard to understand. Heading towards Central Park, just 1 mile from the finish, number 10, Erman Silva, makes a wrong turn. He goes to the right. Well, Benjamin Paradis goes the correct way. Well, all of a sudden, Silva is told by a cop, the cop saying, "Hey, runner, you're going the wrong way." Meanwhile, Paradis is building the lead. Well, let's move forward as they come close to the finish line. Just 350 yards to go. Despite the wrong turn, here comes Erman Silva. He comes from behind to catch Paradis and win by 2 seconds. It's the closest New York Marathon in history. Upset of the weekend, I don't think there's any question whatsoever. It has to be the great George Foreman victory. To appreciate, I want to take you back 21 years ago to Kingston, Jamaica. It's January of 1973 in the second round. George Foreman is the underdog in red. He knocks down not only once, but 3 times the champion Joe Frazier. Frazier actually went down 6 times in 2 rounds. There was obviously no knockdown limit. Joe Frazier got knocked down 6 times. That's when George Foreman became the champ. But last night, against Michael Moore, George Foreman, 21 years later, wearing the same trunks that he wore when he lost to Muhammad Ali. George Foreman, trailing on all 3 judges' cards, puts down the previously undefeated Michael Moore. He wins the IBF and WBA heavyweight championship titles. George Foreman, while Michael Moore was counted out, thus regained the title 20 years after losing it to Ali. He does it by outboxing a man who was 19 years younger than him.
What about power? He stood up to me. He was a fine champion. He wasn't going to let me take his title. I fought him. He hadn't fought like that before. I hit him with a good right hand. He said, I'm getting you back. I didn't think he had that in him.
George Foreman becomes the oldest heavyweight champion ever. You heard him here on the Sports Machine tell you he doesn't care about critics. George Foreman says, hey, I wasn't surprised.
Well, I didn't really prove anything. The critics, they have to talk. But in reality, it was just an accomplishment. And even the odd makers, they had to fight like 2 to 1. Hey, I'm 50 years old. They didn't even give you much odds. So, in other words, they didn't get a chance to win a lot of money. They knew that George Foreman could do it.
George Foreman, did I hear you say he's 50 years old? Our Stanley Tools Play of the Week takes us to Hawaii, where the scenery was the Fred Couples liking. Rural Maui. Fred Couples off the tee on the 164-yard par 3 11th hole. His first career hole-in-one is in the process of happening. As Fred Couples, for the shot, wins a new car, he captures the first-place prize of $180,000 to win the Kapalua Invitational. Congratulations, Fred Couples, our Stanley Tools Play of the Week.
You're an American. You've got the right to play bingo, the right to monster truck rallies, and the right to big, juicy burgers. So what happened? Someone slaps a low price on a fried little burger and calls it a deal? That's un-American. You have the right to go to Burger King. The right to get a Whopper, plain boiled, not fried. And the right to get that Whopper any size you want, with fries and a drink. Starting at just $1.99. It's all there in the Constitution. Look it up.
Burger King. Get your burgers worth. In New Britain, Connecticut, people know how to make a home worth more.
The Hummels are doing a new deck.
Because New Britain is also the home of Stanley.
Frank is redoing his roof.
Nobody has more innovative ways to make a house more livable.
Liz is redoing her bathroom.
Or more valuable.
And the Sandowskis are redoing everything.
Ever wish you had a better house?
So wild.
Why not get started on the one you've got?
What are we doing?
Attention, Kennewick and Yakima. It's Walker's Furniture $3 million sell-down. As Walker's is overstocked with stylish oak furniture and truckloads are arriving daily, deep discounts have been taken to reduce our inventory with no interest for 1 year. Like this 8-foot solid oak dining table from Vargas, right now, only $669. And check out the savings on all beautiful bedroom sets from Castle. If you've ever wanted quality furniture at a great price, come to Walker's $3 million sell-down. But hurry, this is a limited time offer.
If you want to know the type of person that Doc Hastings is, you should talk to the people who've known him best. Doc is very level-headed and down-to-earth.
I think Doc thoroughly understands agriculture. I believe Doc has a clear knowledge of agriculture and its problems, including water shortages.
There's no one I know that has more integrity than Doc Hastings, and we can count on him to represent the mainstream broad interests of the area.
Doc is the kind of guy, when he tells you he's going to do something, that's what he's going to do. His word is his bond.
Take a look, Yakima. It's here, and it's outperforming all the competition. The all-new Dodge Ram, the truck of the year, and it's only at Michael's and Dodge. You've got to see for yourself why everyone is talking about the Dodge Ram. Completely redesigned, car-like ride, power everything inside, and the most powerful production engine available today, the Dodge Ram V10. But it's only at Michael's and Dodge, the only all-American car store in town. The Dodge Ram. Experience it today. back to the sports machine. 3 of the best centers in the NBA are also the best of friends. It was their friendship that resulted in a goodwill journey thousands of miles away. And for that story, let's take you courtside. The NBA spotlight is shining brightly on the big men, like 7-foot Patrick Ewing in his 10th year with the New York Knicks. 6'10", Alonzo Mourning. He's in his 3rd year with the Charlotte Hornets. 7'2", Dikembe Mutombo of the Denver Nuggets. All 3 big men share a common bond. These 3 franchise centers all played at Georgetown University. All 3 were recruited by John Thompson. Patrick Ewing won an NCAA championship. All 3 players graduated with a degree.
Coach Thompson has helped me to become a better person, not only a better basketball player, but also a better person, you know. He's taught me the game, and he's helped me become a man. The way he teaches has been successful, because if you don't make it, and if you don't make it in the NBA, you're going to make it in life, based on his teaching. He always called his practice his classroom.
I'm glad that I got a chance to be brought up by John Thompson, the way that he have helped me and achieve my goal as becoming a professional basketball and to get my degrees at Georgetown University as well.
It's August 1994. Cape Town, South Africa. Thousands of miles and several continents from Georgetown University. But it is here that these 3 former Georgetown stars, now the NBA's brightest stars, have come together with other NBA players to share the basketball experience with the children of South Africa. Mutombo, Mourning, and Ewing, showing South Africa how basketball is played. It was the kind of goodwill tour that people only dream about.
Swish! Oh yeah! We got some basketball player here.
These NBA stars were sharing their NBA experience with the children of South Africa. What they didn't know was that this trip was destined to have a lasting impact on them. The South African city of Soweto suffers from extreme poverty. For Dikembe Mutombo, who was born in Zaire, a trip to a schoolhouse reminded him of his youth when a song was his source of wealth. For Alonzo Mourning of the Charlotte Hornets, his encounter with a young boy who asked him to take him home left him with memories he'll never forget.
I think they should fly every kid that lives in the United States, fly them all here and let them spend a day here. And they'll realize how good they have it. They'll definitely realize. I wish I would have come here when I was younger. I mean, I would have looked at life from a totally different perspective.
The South African Goodwill Tour. It made each man a little wealthier. And when the tour was completed, all 3 returned to the gym where they played their college ball on the campus of Georgetown University, under the watchful and proud eye of their former coach, John Thompson.
When I saw pictures of them in Africa, tears came to my eyes. You saw Dikembe holding a little baby close to his chest, and you see Patrick talking to somebody, or Alonzo talking to a kid, and you just sit there and you just shake your head and you laugh and say that it's the passing of the baton.
Back in the gym, these pickup games are intensely competitive. Ewing, Dikembe, and Mourning. Oh, and Alonzo is the biggest complainer.
We have a lot of long pickup games. He's calling fouls all the time, calling traveling all the time. The most fun I have is watching the 2 of them go at it. You know, they're best of friends, but when they get in this, the heated battle, Alonzo gets mad, the veins pop out, foaming at the mouth.
3 and